brothers have gotten in fights. Who's ever gotten in a fight with their brother? Or wrestled or whatever, Okay, so usually it's something that they did to annoy you, or something that tricked you and farted on your pillow or something crazy like that. Yeah. Okay, thank you guys. You can go ahead and sit down. So these two were brothers. This is Jacob and Esau. Okay? So when we talked about it earlier, Jacob tricked his dad to give him stuff that belonged to Esau. Right? It's called a blessing. So back then they would give a blessing. So it'd be like, I'm getting old and say Levi was my son, and I have a Lamborghini, and I have a big house, and I know I'm about to die, and I'm gonna because he was the firstborn son, he would usually get the blessing. And so I'd be like, I'd lay my hands on him, give him my blessing, and now he'd own those things of mine. So Jacob tricked his dad because his dad was blind, couldn't see. And his brother was hairy, had hairy arms, hairy body, hairy chest, hairy face, everything hairy. So Jacob didn't have the hair like his brother, and he put goat's hair, right? Goat hair? Yep, on his body, and went to his father and faked him out because his father felt the hair. He's like, you feel like Esau, but you don't sound like him. But he was older, so he was kind of confused. But he blessed Jacob. And so Jacob got the stuff, and his brother came home. His brother was angry, and when they were blessed, they were blessed. It's done. It's a done deal. So, anyways, all this other stuff happened. Now we're coming to our story. They grew up, grew older. Esau was really, really mad and wanted to kill Jacob. So Jacob fled. He went to a different land, lived, got a wife. All these things happened. So now they're coming back together. But there's a time. Yes, you're right. And there was a time that he was going into the land, and he knew where Esau was staying, and he heard that Esau had 400 men and was coming to see him. An army of 400 men. So you think, and he's older now, but he's still freaked out. He still thinks his brother wants to kill him because he did that. He tricked him. And so he's like, oh man, what do I need to do? And he prays. He prays to God. And he asks God for wisdom. And so what he ends up doing is he has all this cattle, right? He has a bunch. God has blessed him. Not only has he received the birthright, but he's been blessed as he's gone on. He divided these up, right? And he sent them out in groups. And he sent a section of them, to go, because, his brother's coming with an army of 400 men. And he's like, dude, I do not want to be wiped out. I got a lot of animals, I got a lot of people that are with me here, and I don't want everybody to die. So he's like, I'm going to give him these gifts. So he sent out groups of these animals to his brother. And so he sent them out in 3 sections, right? And he ends up sleeping that night. And he does something crazy. So crazy. You know what Jacob did? It says... He farted. No, he didn't fart. He got up, right? There was a river, kind of like the river jump. And he took his wife and children across, it says actually 2 wives, 2 servant wives, 11 sons. I know it's crazy back then. Crossed the river with them, taking them the other side with all his possessions. And Jacob, alone in the camp, a man came, right? This one says a man, okay? And wrestled with him until the dawn began to break. But this wasn't a man. This was... Some people believe it was an angel. Some people believe it was Jesus. Okay? And they wrestled. And he was wrestling for a reason. He was wrestling to get God's blessing. Jacob, the only man to wrestle God in the Bible. That's pretty crazy. And so the man said, let me go because the dawn is breaking. But Jacob said, I won't let you go unless you bless me. He replied, Jacob, Your name will no longer be Jacob, the man told him. From now on, you will be called Israel. Okay? And Jacob sounds like the word in Hebrew used for heel or deceiver, because he deceived his brother. Right? But God changed his name to Israel, which means God fights. Okay? So, because he fought with God, and he said, because you fought with God and with men and have won, meaning he won the blessing. And so he said, please tell me your name, Jacob said. He said, why do you want to know my name? The man replied. And then he blessed Jacob there. And so Jacob received the blessing from this man, whoever was, angel or God. And he got his name changed from deceiver to one who fights, or God fights. The next day, his brother comes there, right? And he's still nervous. He lines up his servants and his wives, and then he sends his animals out in the front, and he goes out in front of the animals to meet his brother. He's like, okay, if my brother kills me, and he's going to have to kill the animals, and then maybe my wives can run away and stuff like that. And so, but he ends up bowing multiple times, 7 times, to Esau, showing him, he's like, dude, I'm so sorry. Forgive me, please. Like, I've given you gifts. Don't be mad at me. Don't kill me with all these guys, because he had 400 men. And they were all cool. And Jacob hugged him and embraced him, or Esau hugged Jacob and embraced him, forgave him. Or Israel. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. He hugged Israel because his name got changed, embraced him, and forgave him, received the gifts, and so there was peace between him and his brother. And guys, the big point of the story is forgiveness and peace.